Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 7.1 of Mrs. Quinn's Geometry. Today we're going to introduce power functions, and we're going to start with Fan. Fan drives to school every day. Suppose there's some probability D that something will delay her on any given day. What is the probability that she's going to be delayed 4 days in a row? Hopefully, you're going to agree with me that the probability she's delayed on day 1 is D. The probability she's delayed on day 2 is D. Day 3 is D. Day 4 is D. Will everyone agree that that's going to be D to the 4th? Then we're going to go ahead and make this x value 4, and we're going to make a table of values where I have D, the probability, and D to the 4th. Let's start with 0.1. 0.1 to the power of 4 is going to become 0.0001. And then let's go to 0.2. Now I get 2 to the 4th, which is 16, so I get 0.0016. Then I'll do 0.3 to the power of 4, and I get 0.0081. And hopefully you start to feel comfortable filling out this chart. 0.4 to the power of 4 is going to give me 0.0256, which means that there's approximately a 3% chance that she is going to be late 4 days in a row if her probability is 0.4. Let's go to 0.5, and 0.5 to the 4th is 625, so now I get 0.0625. Let's continue my values over here for 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and 1. By the way, if her probability was 0, 4 days in a row would be 0, right? 0.6 to the power of 4 gives me 0.1296. Now let's talk about this. This means that if there's a 60% chance that she's late any one day, there's a 13% chance she's late 4 days in a row. 0.7 to the power of 4 is going to give me 0.2410. 0.8 is going to give me 0.4096. And 0.9 to the power of 4 is going to give me 0.6561. And of course, 1 to the 4th is 1. So now we want to know what value of D will give a probability of 0.5. So we want a 50% chance that she is going to be late 4 days in a row. Hopefully, you're going to agree with me that it has to be somewhere in between these two values. And it looks like smack dab in the middle. So let's try 0.85 to the power of 4. And I get 0.522. So let's try 0.84 to the power of 4. And the closest value I get is 0.84. Because when raised to the power of 4, we get 0.497, which rounds up to 0.5. Now, if you wanted to do that on your own, you would go to your y equals editor and enter in x to the power of 4. Go to your table and set your change at 0.5 or 0.01 and have it start here and end here. So I would go to y equals editor and plug in x to the power of 4. Go to my table setup, have it start at 0.8, go to 0.9, and let's make my change 0.1, and then go to your table, and you can see for all the values of x what your output is for y. And now you can see, hopefully you can see 0.01, sorry, for your change. And now I can see all these values, and I scroll down to 0.84, and I can see my output for y. If you want the keystrokes for that, please ask me tomorrow in class. And so our solution here would be 0.84. If there is a 0.84 probability that she is late on any one day, there's a 50% chance she's going to be late 4 days in a row. All right, let's talk about domain and range. If I have this function, notice that it's an even function. And every even function is going to be a parabola. It's just going to either be skinnier or wider, depending on how big the power is. So here, I'm going to imagine a super skinny parabola. Its leading coefficient is negative, so it's going to be downward facing. And so my domain, my values for x, would have to be all reals. My range, my values for y, begin at 0 and get smaller. Agreed? Now over here, if I have a negative power, we know that x to the power of 3 looks like this. It's going to have the same shape, but since it's negative, all your negative odd powers are going to go in the opposite direction. So right here, for this shape right here, I know I'm going in this direction and it's super skinny, right? All odd powers look like this, all even powers will be your up or down parabola. So for this one, my domain would have to be all reals, and my range would also have to be all reals. So let's go ahead and try this on your own. Match the equation to the best of your abilities to the correct graph. All right, are you done? Does everyone agree that these are my x to the 4th? They're the only ones that it's an upward facing parabola. X to the 9th is going to have to be right here, and x to the negative 9th is going to be right here. All right, for tomorrow, please graph x to the 6th and x to the negative 6 on a coordinate plane, and then also graph x to the 7th and x to the negative 7th, so that I can see which one is which, and I will see you tomorrow.